guys, I'm Aveline and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So today I got a new big house for you guys. This voiceover is a little bit, or the video itself is a little bit longer than I usually prefer to have my videos. I like to keep my videos below 30 minutes, or at least around 30-minute mark max, just because voiceovers take me ages to do, and also I doubt that the majority of you guys actually want to sit through a 35-minute speed build for some reason. So I just like to keep my videos a little bit shorter than this, but I simply could not fit this into anything under 35 minutes apparently. So I'm sorry about that. I did try my best to cut out as much as possible, especially when it came to the landscaping, because I do know that a lot of that gets a little bit repetitive, but it just was not possible to make it shorter than this today. So I hope you guys are okay with it though, and I hope you guys will like the build as well. I really like how it turned out. Plus, I feel like it's different from a lot of the builds that I've done lately, because usually, or I don't want to say usually, but a lot of the family homes that I've done lately have been very traditional, or just, you know, regular suburban houses, craftsman or traditional houses basically. But this one does have a Tudor vibe to it. I also added this sort of renovated area on the left side of the build. You'll see that in a little bit. And yeah, I really like how it turned out. It's a little bit different, so I can appreciate that. I hope you guys will like it too. So I started building this on a 30 by 20 in Willow Creek, but I actually moved it up to the, once I saw that it was turning into a Tudor house more than anything else, because it was inspired by a picture that I saw on Pinterest, by the way. But I was kind of, I think the picture was supposed to be a Tudor house, but I don't really remember because I mainly took inspiration for the roofing. So I shut it down or closed the picture pretty early on. And then I wanted to turn it into something else, like a traditional or something, but it still just looked like a Tudor house. So I figured, let's move this from Willow Creek into, or to, just let's move it to Windenburg instead, because that's where I usually keep my Tudor houses. So I moved it to Windenburg, actually found out that I'm missing, or I was missing, a house on the wide 40 by 30 that's in the foresty area, because I don't remember who lives there. The Fires probably, but I honestly, I don't really remember where the original townies usually live, because I've deleted all of them. I've been in this save file for a very, very long time, and have not had the townies here since maybe like a year ago. So I don't remember where they live, but I think this is the same lot as they used to live on. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the same lot though. But I figured since I was missing this lot actually for the save file, I might as well, you know, fit the garden area so that I could put this on the wide 40 by 30. And it actually, in the end, I think that it looks really good on this lot too. So it will be included in the save file once that's uploaded and everything. I will be uploading a partially done version before the year is over, by the way. It's just that I don't, like we keep getting new worlds and I can't keep up. It's taking so much work, and I don't do renovations either. I mainly just build, so it just takes a long time to get through everything, because I want to make everything good. I want to be inspired when I have to build, you know, this save file. So it's just taking a long time to do, but I'm still working on it. It's just taking a long time, like I said, but I will be doing a partially done sort of save file upload sometime before the new year. So if you have been waiting for a long time, soon, I promise, but it's still not fully done. It'll be partially done. It's also because I have to fill up all the houses that I already have with townies. I haven't done that yet because I definitely prefer to build over doing CAS. So I'm a little bit behind creating townies, but I'll get to it, I promise. So there'll be an upload or a download link for you guys before the year is over. That is a promise. So yeah, but anyways, this house, by the way, I forgot to say at the start of the video, now we're building on the 40 by 30 in Windenburg. It is for 2 parents and also 2 teens, I want to say. I think they're late teens, so, or late teens. Does that make sense? They're close to being young adults, so I did make their rooms a little bit university inspired. I kind of imagined one of them to study something like law or something, maybe become a teacher, Or, I know law has nothing to do with teaching, by the way. I know that it came off like that, but that's not how I meant it. Anyways, and then the other teen wants to study music or arts or something like that. So they're kind of somewhat opposites, but not fully opposites. I will say that the color schemes of their rooms are quite opposite from each other. Like, one is very bright and the other one is very dark. But I know that teaching and arts are not necessarily full on opposites. So anyways, but that's kind of what I was going for their rooms. And then for one of the parents, I decided that I wanted to make them a teacher, but then the house turned out too big, so I started looking up what the different positions, is that what you call it, in the teaching career are called in the game, and I found out that you can also work in the administration branch of teaching, so you can become, or of education, I suppose, so you can become a head chancellor, is that how you say that? Or chancellor? Chancellor or chancellor? I've never heard that word pronounced before, so I'm just guessing. You guys know English is not my first language. I'm Danish, so it's not every word that I pronounce perfectly. I hope that's okay. Anyways, so I figured since they could work in administration, it would be kind of cool to build this house or decorate this house for someone who is very up in that career. So that is what we're doing. And before I decided that one of the parents was going to be this head chancellor, whatever situation, I also wanted to make the other one work in the military business, or not business, military career, but I didn't really have room for decorating or room to decorate anything sort of like that. So I just forgot all about that and just stuck to the teaching stuff. So they have a home office that does look kind of fancy. There's a lot of bookcases in there, and also the interior overall. This is probably the most gray house that I've ever done when it comes to interior. It's very, very gray and white, but it looks fancy. It looks expensive. It looks like a higher, or not higher, how do you say that? A wealthier family lives here. So, because I figured if you're the head chancellor, whatever, of Brightchester, you probably have a nice pay. Like, that's just, I don't really know how that works either, but in my head, I feel like they would have a nice pay. So, yeah. Also, according to what I could see when it came to that career, that position also, or the person, the sim, whatever, in that position also has a pretty nice pay in the game. So, it does kind of make sense after all. I will say that that position or that job definitely earns more than, what was the top, like the top level of the teaching branch? I don't remember, but they earned like 100 simoleons less an hour or something. So it just made more sense to go for the top position in the administration branch instead. So yeah, I still want to build something for someone who works in the military business, or what do I keep calling it, business? Career. Someone who works in the military career. And I also still want to do something for a teacher. I'll probably put the teacher's house in Brightchester somewhere. I don't know if it's going to be in the Foxbury area or the other one. Let me know if you'd rather have all those houses in those areas be for students, or would you be cool with one of the houses being for a teacher possibly? Definitely let me know. And because I know that the teachers don't necessarily actually work at the university, at least not as far as I think they don't, but actually now I'm kind of unsure. Now that I'm saying it, I'm kind of second guessing that, but I don't think they do. Like, I don't think they actually have anything to do with the university. I think it's just a career you can have in game. So anyways, but let me know if you want me to like focus on student housing for those two, or for that world overall, Brightchester overall. I can definitely do that for you guys if that's what you prefer. But anyways, so I moved on to the interior before doing most of the exterior. I think I added I must have added a few details on the exterior, but I didn't do any landscaping or anything. I just moved on to the interior because I felt like I spent so long on the exterior already that it was just time. I also don't want to bore those of you who don't like to watch exteriors, because I do realize that part of you guys do prefer exteriors over interiors, and also there's a part who prefers the other, interiors over exteriors. So I still want to split it up so that, you don't have to sit through a major part of the video to get to your favorite part, you know? So I moved on to the interior, and as always, I started out with the kitchen. I think also the dining room actually today, but those two are kind of connected in this house at least. You can see there's a huge archway to the dining area right here. And I felt like putting the dining area in the renovated area of the house, by the way, or this renovated part of the house, just because, you know, there's big windows and stuff. It's really cool that you can sit there and look over the forest in the background or something when you're eating. I think that's just, I don't know, I like the thought of that. So I like to put dining areas where there's a lot of windows, basically. Usually I do that. Sometimes I swap it out with the living room instead. But anyways, for the kitchen, we're using counters from, why did I talk about the dining room when I was doing the kitchen and now we're doing the dining room and I'm not talking about, whatever. So I just wanted to say that those counters are from Realm of Magic, by the way, in case you're curious. I could not find a dining table with, or from Discover University that fit normal chairs or normal dining chairs. For some reason, I thought the 2 3-slot or 3-square dining tables would fit normal dining chairs, but they don't. I think they're supposed to be like bar tables or something. I don't really know, because I think bar stools snap onto those tables, but normal dining chairs don't, and that was a little bit confusing. I didn't want to use the older looking, cheaper looking dining table for this room because it is supposed to be a little bit fancy, so I went with one that's actually from base game. But the dining chairs are from the new pack, so is the fireplace right here, which is actually really beautiful. It does look a little bit like it belongs in a school, but let's just ignore that. I've used it a couple places around this house, actually. I think I used it in the living room, definitely. I think I've also put one in the parents' bedroom, actually, which is not something that I usually do. But it is a bit of a fancier house, so I figured it would sort of make sense this time, so yeah. Also, I really hope that those photo frames still work, even though I sliced them down. They're just really big when they're not sized down, and also I think they're for graduation pictures, but I'm not entirely sure. I still haven't had time to dig into any gameplay because I've just been so busy building, so I don't really know. Plus I feel like it's gonna take me a long time. Like if I start going into gameplay now just to see how everything works in the university, it's going to take me ages to get graduated or to graduate, yeah. So I don't really know if that's something I'll find out myself sometime soon, but I hope those photo frames work at least. And now we're just decorating the kitchen a little bit, cluttering it up, because you guys know that I love to clutter. There's a, you know, not the same amount of clutter in this house as I usually put in my houses, but that's just because it's supposed to look a little bit fancier, so everything has to be just a little bit cleaner, a little bit less messy maybe, so I just toned down the clutter a tiny bit, but I'll still say that it's, you know, fairly decorated, so I hope it's okay still though. And also, by the way, I noticed that, because I was trying to find pictures that were sort of toned down as well, so I wanted to make sure that the frames weren't brown, because the vast majority of the furniture in this house is going to be white or gray, with a few exceptions in both of the teens' rooms and also in the living room, because the couch that I chose had brown legs and I really wanted the coffee table to go with the legs, because otherwise that was just, it didn't look good. So anyways, but other than those pieces of furniture and then also the teens' rooms, like I mentioned, everything else is basically going to be white and gray, because I just felt like going for that vibe for this house. I felt like it was clean and kind of rich looking and, you know, that sort of vibe. So that is what we're doing. And also because of that, I wanted the frames of the pictures to be black and white. But like I said before, I found out that we're seriously lacking pictures, by the way. So that was, that sucked. I did have to use some frames or some pictures that have brown frames in the end, just because I don't like to reuse pictures or paintings in my house so that they have 2 of the same paintings or pictures in 2 different places in the house. Unless it's on purpose right next to each other, obviously, but if it's not, then that just seems a little bit unrealistic to me. I mean, I'm not the most realistic builder out there, I'll definitely say that. I do tend to ignore realism now and then on purpose. Even though I get comments about it, sometimes I just really don't care. It's a game, let's just have some fun with it. But when it comes to those the kind of things like identical paintings or pictures, I'm like, nah. So that was a bit of a struggle, but I think it turned out fine in the end. I think it was okay. So I did find out that we had some pictures from Discover University of Brightchester School actually, or Brightchester University. So I hung some of those around, both in the living room here actually, but there was also a couple of them in the office, just because I feel like the person who lives here, the head chancellor, whatever, I feel like they are working at Brightchester University. I feel like they're the top person in the administration branch at Brightchester University. So it would make sense that they're kind of proud of their school. So they'd have a couple of those pictures hanging around. So yeah, and I also put some of the diplomas and licenses or whatever they were called in the office as well. So there's a few different items in there that could definitely point towards this person's career. So yeah, I think we're pretty much done with the living room now. We're just doing a little bit of this hallway space right here. But in the next room that we're decorating, I actually wanted there to be some kind of, oh, we're still cluttering a little bit, but I'm still gonna explain. So in the next room that we're decorating, I kind of wanted there to be some activities for this family to do together. But then at the same time, I felt like it looked kind of out of place because it's the back door to the backyard or side garden, whatever. But it just kind of, yeah, it took up too much space. I really wanted there to be a foosball table in here. I thought that would be cute. Or in the house, I thought that would be really cute for them to like play together or whatever. But oh, I also made sure that they had enough toys and stuff for a cat. So you may not see me put down a litter box, by the way, but there is one in the upload, and I believe I put it in the bathroom on the ground floor here. So there is both a bathroom, or it's not fully a bathroom, it's a half bath or a powder room. It depends a little bit on where you're from. Like you can call it different things in different parts of the world. But anyways, there's one of those here on the ground floor, and then there's also a laundry room. I did put a toilet and also a sink in the laundry room just because I felt like it made sense for gameplay purposes, to be honest. You guys know it's not a lot of fun to watch your Sims hurrying from one end of the house to the other because they have to go to the bathroom and they're not really walking very fast. They're walking in that really awkward way where they keep their knees together, like, does that make sense? Like together, not combined. Yeah. So they don't pee their pants, I suppose, or something. So it made sense to put another toilet over there in that corner of the house. So it should be right next to the kitchen as well, because that's where I like to put my laundry machines. So yeah, they do have two toilets on the ground floor, and there is a litter box in one of those rooms. So this is the parents' bedroom. Actually, it's very simple. I didn't want to put too much furniture in here. I also didn't want to put too much clutter in here. So very, very simple. There's a fireplace just to make it a little bit more luxurious, and also an ottoman over here under the window. And I have a feeling that from that window, they have an awesome view of the forest behind the house, by the way. Like I can imagine them sitting on the ottoman and just, I don't know, just chilling and looking out the window and just enjoying the view or something. And of course, it's very bright in here. I did use 3 pictures from cats and dogs just to add a little bit of contrast because it was getting very bright in here. It was definitely a little bit too white. So I chose the black and white versions, or the black and white swatches of those paintings. I love to use those because I just feel like you can size them down and they look really good next to each other like that and stuff. So I use this quite often. Very versatile paintings. Anyways, and then they also have a walk-in closet here with a mirror. So that is basically where I ended up putting their dressers and stuff. And now I was desperately trying to fit in that foosball table because I was like, they need a foosball table. But no, I ended up taking it out because if I had the foosball table in here, the sim or the teen living in this room wouldn't have had a dresser or I had to choose between a dresser or a desk. So I was like, too bad, foosball table. See you another time. Bye-bye. And yeah, that's just how it turns out sometimes. So, but basically we're using a lot of stuff from Discover University in this room. So basically the same stuff that I've been using in my past couple of builds, but it's new, it's shiny, I have to use it. So that's just how that is. But I still love this bookcase, by the way. It reminds me of the bookcase that I have behind me, and I want another one of them actually to be next to it. I just don't know if it'll look too bombastic or like a little bit too much in my office or something. By the way, I'm planning on doing if I got time after I've recorded this voiceover and everything, I'm planning on doing a video about my setup and also what's in my office so far, because my office is not completely decorated just yet. I still have a corner that's sort of empty, but I figured it would be kind of fun to do something like that. Also because I know that you guys have been asking for an office tour for a while now because I moved and stuff, so I might do that for tomorrow also so you guys get to see my setup, because I often get questions about my computer too, so, and also what's needed for YouTube and all that sort of stuff. So that might be going up on the channel tomorrow, along with another video that's not about my setup, but is Sims related, but it's not a build video. It's not a Let's Play either. I know this does not make any sense, but you'll see that tomorrow. So anyways, I do want to talk about something that's a little bit serious, and I feel like including myself, I don't really talk about it either, but a lot of other creators seem to not talk about it either too. That did not make any sense. But there's a change coming to YouTube, and it's just kind of, as a simmer, I've kind of been denying it or forgetting about it a little bit because Sims is rated T for teens, so kids are not supposed to play the game or watch the videos. But there is a change coming to YouTube where we now have to, as creators, we have to mark our content as made for kids or not made for kids. So I don't see my content as made for kids. The problem is that I can see my age group, or I can see what age you guys are, but I can't see how many of you are under 13. It doesn't show in my analytics. So I'm assuming that my content isn't made for kids. Also based on the comments that I get from you guys, most of you, like the vast majority of you, don't seem to be under 13. So, but still, it's got to do with COPPA or FTC in the US, and they're basically trying to make YouTube a safer place for kids, but they're also being really vague, like what videos are supposed to be for kids and what videos aren't, because they're like, well, you know best, you know your demographic the best, but at the same time they're like, oh, well, colorful thumbnails are definitely aimed towards kids, and I'm like, no, it's The Sims. It's just a colorful game. So I just don't really know what to do about it. I know that there's other Simmers out there who don't know, like other Sims creators on YouTube that don't know either. And it's really confusing. It's very stressful. I am terrified for my channel. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to do this for a living in January because the changes are implemented in January. So I don't know. I just wanted to update you guys on that a little bit because it's taking up a lot of space these days. I'm really nervous about it. And I know that other Simmers are too. We're just not really talking about it for some reason. But still, I'm like, Sims is not supposed to be for kids. Like, it's rated T, right? So it's for teens. But again, we don't really know. So I just wanted to talk about it for a little bit because it's nerve-wracking and there's a lot of stuff coming up these days about it, and nobody really knows what's gonna happen. But anyways, that was YouTube talk. So what's going on behind the scenes and all that. But I'm really hoping that it's not going to affect my channel because I just want this to stay like it is. I like doing this. So anyways, this is the other teens room. As you can see, it's quite the contrast to the first teens room the first teen room that we did. That made sense somehow. I think we're actually almost done with this room, but I was going for a black and red color scheme in here. I put a lot of guitars in here too because I felt like it would be fun to make this for a more creative teen, so they're very into music and that sort of stuff. Because the last dark dorm room I did was actually, it was half a dorm room. It was for the opposites dorm room, and that one was for someone who was very into like computer games and all that stuff. So I figured, for a change, let's make it for a musician instead, and not a boho room. It's not a boho room for a change, so. Also, just quickly back regarding the cover stuff, because I was planning to do, for example, just so you guys know how vague it is, like their requirements and stuff, or what's the video that's made for kids. Even if it's in The Sims, if it's got something to do with Barbie or Disney, it might still get targeted. So I was planning to, on the 64 by 64, that's in Del Sol Valley, I wanted to build Barbie's Dream Mansion because I thought that would be a lot of fun, but now I don't dare to anymore. So I might even have to like delete some of the Disney videos that I've done in the past as well, which is really sad because that's something that I love to do, but we just don't really know. Like we don't know. So it's a struggle. Anyways, by the way, I did get some questions about this fence here on my Discord server because I did post a sneak peek, yes, picture of the house over there. So the fencing right here is not a proper fence. You probably saw me put it down just before, but it is world objects from Discover University. So you basically just use the cheats that are in the description down below, and then over on the left side of the screen where it says search, in this little bar with a magnifying glass next to it, you just type in debug. Then you can filter according to Discover University, and somewhere in that mess you can find that fencing, and it's a lot of fun to just, you know, go exploring in the World Objects catalog. There's a lot of items in there. I definitely recommend that you do, but it does take a long time to go through everything. But I figured it would be fun to use them for this house because I felt like they just looked pretty and would fit the house too, so. I did end up putting some vines on them actually that I don't remember where they came from, possibly Vampire Game Pack or something like that. And over on the left side later on, once I put down a pool and also a gazebo, I did end up putting a grill area in the gazebo, go figure, I always do. But anyways, after I do that, I actually go back to the front garden and I put a garage on the left side, or I want to say front garden. This is weird because it's a wide lot. Like what's considered the front garden? What's considered the backyard? I don't really know. Do they even have a backyard? Possibly not. Maybe the forest in the background is the backyard. I don't know how it works. But I end up going back and fixing a garage for them. Now it's a very small garage, but there is actually room for 2 cars. They just could easily bump into each other and also the walls. So don't think of it in a sort of realistic way. It's just decor. Okay, anyways. So I did end up going for white and red for the landscaping actually, not for any particular reason. I just thought red would go really well with the white and the gray on the build itself. There's actually a little bit of light brown on the build too, and what else is there? I think some brown tones in the not in the landscaping, in the wallpaper that I use in this little piece of the house where the front door is. There are some brown tones in that brick or whatever. So I just, thought red would do really well with this color scheme, or the color scheme of the house. So I don't know, actually I haven't looked at the flower boxes that came with Discover University, so I don't really, I haven't looked at them in detail and seen what flowers or what color the flowers are yet. So usually I'll match the landscaping with the color of the flowers in the flower boxes, but I just haven't actually looked, so not today. But I end up using some of the rose bushes that are base game and also some of the irises that came with Romantic Gardens stuff pack. And then over here on the right side of the path to the front door, I put a little fishing pond. I also took one of the fishing signs that can be found in the debug catalog, and I put it there, so your Sims should actually be able to fish in this pond if they want to. I don't really know if your Sims, if you pretend like your Sims have their own fish in this pond, I feel like that would be a little bit weird. But I'm also not going to judge you, so if you want to eat your own fish, you are welcome to. But I do have that little pond over there, and I decorated it with some rocks that I sized up so it would look a little bit more realistic, or like in an actual real life pond. I almost said pool. I don't know. Anyways, so they do have a pool over here on the left side of the house. I was trying to line it up with the house itself, but it just wasn't working. So I don't know if that annoys some of you guys. It might, because it does annoy me a little bit, but I'm just choosing to ignore it. And then I put a little fountain thing in the middle here as well because I thought that would look cute. I don't really know why, but for some reason I like to put stuff in the middle of my pools. Except, well, maybe if they're square pools or rectangular pools, then yes. If they are random sized or shaped, then no. Then I like to add stuff to the sides of the pools instead. I don't really know if this is making any sense, but if you don't understand what I mean, go look at my land grab mansion and you'll see in the backyard I made a big fancy pool and it was very decorated and stuff. I had a lot of fun with it. So, but anyways, in the gazebo, like I mentioned, I ended up putting a grill area. So they do have a fancy dining table up there. I believe I used the one that is from Get Famous actually, because it does look a little bit like an outdoors kind of dining table. And I barely ever use that one for interiors just because it does look like an outdoors dining table. You'll see that later on. And then added a little bit more landscaping over here. I also added some details to the pool. I think I used some of the trims that came with Get Famous actually as well. And of course a little bit of landscaping around the gazebo too, just to make everything look a little bit more cohesive. Plus I like to add just a few flowers here and there. And oh yeah, by the way, I put all these trees up next to the pool just because I felt like it was getting a little bit too, like you could look in a little bit too easily. So I figured if I put trees, like a line of trees, a row of trees next to the pool, it would kind of hide the pool a little bit. I don't know. Does this make any sense? That's what I was thinking though when I did it. So that's what those trees are doing right there. And that is the garage right here in front of the pool. So you can't actually see the pool if you're walking down the road or if you're walking next to the house because of the trees. But if you're walking behind the house, then maybe. Just want to point that out. So for the garage, I used these, I don't know what they are. They're under wall decor, but honestly, I don't know what they are. Anyways, they came with Get Famous, so I sized them down a couple of times and basically tried to make it look like a garage door because I didn't just want to use wallpaper. So that is what's going on right there. And then I also put some windows on the side and on the back, of course, just to add in some light. And as you can see, it's a very, very small garage, but just, you know, take it with a grain of salt. It's not supposed to be super realistic. They could definitely drive straight into the wall and I don't know, it looks kind of funny, but I still wanted there to be a garage, so be a garage. So yeah, that's what that's about basically. And yeah, other than that, I think for the rest of the video, like I said before, just adding some details to the pool, maybe a little bit more landscaping, a few extra details here and there, but I think that is about it possibly. Oh, also some lights to the garden, just you know, because we are in the forest and it does get dark in the middle of the night, so it's nice to have just, you know, a little bit more light in the front yard so you can actually see the house from the street. And then I actually also added a small area under the gazebo where I put a lot of small lights too, so some candles and lanterns and that stuff. It was really cute and cozy. Actually, I don't know if I did it already. I might have done it already, but in case you didn't know, no, I haven't. See, we're fixing the grill area, so the little area with the lights will also be done in just, you know, a little bit. So anyways, but that's about it for this video. So definitely let me know if there are any other builds you want to see from me, if there's any other kinds of videos you want to see from me too. And I hope you guys are looking forward to whatever I'm putting up on the channel tomorrow. That was so vague. Anyways, it's just a setup tour and then the other thing, because it's been requested a lot, especially on my Discord server. So I hope some of you guys here on YouTube as well will appreciate it or whatever. I don't know how to say that, but I hope you guys are looking forward to it anyways. And yeah, if you guys like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!
Sleeves rolled up, glasses on, and then you make that smile and my heart starts racing when I'm with you. When I'm with you.